Hello. Oh yeah, here we go. We're working here. Thank you all so much for being here. Hopefully you had a nice lunch. Personally really love the egg rolls, and I'm ready to go into a little bit of a food coma. So hopefully you'll get a chance to relax, get a little building in after lunch, and prepare yourself for that last session of the day. Thank you for joining us. I am Andrew Hardy, and my colleague.
I'm Jessica Holloway.
We are innovation coaches for Hamilton County Schools, and we're celebrities here, and we're just thankful to be here at the Tennessee STEM Innovation Summit this week, and thank you all for joining us. In our session today, our goal is for us to unpack the rubric writing process and to really deepen our understanding of impact the quality of student work. If you're like us, you're here because we've all banged our head at the wall on creating a rubric. What needs to go on it? What needs to go off the rubric? When should I give it out? How long do the students need to work through it? And we're going to go through a really fast process today and have you create something and use a rubric to guide your work. And of course, we're going to do that in the mindset of Lego Masters. Raise your hand if you've watched the Lego Masters TV show. Man, I've obsessed over that. And apparently I'm not very good at building with Legos when I see the creations that people make. But we're going to go as Lego Masters today, and specifically, we want you to have two different mindsets when we're working today. We're either going to be working in student mode or teacher mode. And we're going to start in student mode. You can turn your teacher brain off. You came in here as students. We all had that student struggle of, oh my God, where am I going to sit, and who am I going to sit with, and who's my group, and can I change my card? Can I change to be at a different group? And then at the end of our session, we're going to go back to teacher mode. So for the first time here, we're just going to enjoy a little bit of building, and we're going to work on a task together.
Yep.
So you've received a Lego brick tag. Does everybody have a tag? Everyone's got a table? Friends? Soon to be friends? As we have all joined here, we want to make sure that you've had time to share your name, share where you're from, and since we're here for Tennessee, what's something you love about Tennessee? Get a chance to meet your neighbors.
Yep. So you're going to be working together, so go ahead and just turn to the people in your group so you know each other before you start working.
Huh?
Expedited.
Yeah, it's heavy. We're not wasting any time. Most of it's building. So. Thank you for the help.
Yeah.
Go join a group if you want. That was very helpful. And for all you friends at home, if you want to type your name in the chat, something you love about Tennessee as well. Go ahead and get your Legos out at home. Okay. We'll jump on it then. So today's task, we've done a lot of listening, we've done a lot of learning here at TSIN, and we want to make sure that we also do some creating. So you're going to have 20 minutes during this session to create a Lego model with your team. Your only parameters are you're going to have 20 minutes to build, and you're going to present your work to another group following the challenge. You're going to get a Lego kit, which is already in front of you, and once we start, we're going to bring a rubric to you. And anything you want to add to that?
Of course, today you're going to be competing, so you want to do your best work, but you're competing against the rubric, so you want to earn your best score to get your best work. And your task is just to create a Lego model that celebrates the state of Tennessee.
Your time begins.
Please don't combine the tubs. You can only use one tub.
It preserves our Lego for the next time.
You have 15 minutes remaining.
Couple things I thought we might talk about at the end is the binary choices. I think people are just going to hopefully talk about it. We'll see. So we have, they're 9 minutes in.
Okay, you're halfway through your build time. I do want you to do a rubric check before you begin to move into the second half of your building time. So do a rubric check, and then you've got about 10 minutes remaining.
Yeah, remember we're in student mode, and as teachers, we all know that students love to rush onward without reading that rubric. So make sure you've checked over your task.
trouble removing a Lego, I did bring the remover tool, which most kids don't realize, like they try to use it as a Lego, but that's the remover tool if you need one.
And you officially have 5 minutes remaining. The Lego Masters sirens are blowing right now. 5 minutes to go.
It 2-minute limit. If you are done with your build, put your extra pieces back in the tub. That'll just help us later.
But keep your model intact. And this is a great opportunity to take a photo of your work. Let that live in posterity. This is also a good time to do one final rubric check. Make sure that you're setting yourself up to receive maximum points. Get that A.
I go to the next slide.
We'll give it 1 minute and then we'll.
You're gonna give them their full time.
Huh?
All right. It's time to share our work. So we're going to do it a little bit differently than we have up there because our brick tags got a little off. So you are going to present to another group When I tell you where to move, one person from the group will bring a rubric and a writing utensil, and you guys will score the other group as they present, if that makes sense.
And we'll keep our Lego models where they are,
are.
because I know some groups do not have easily transportable models.
People will move, models will not move. So in just a moment, this half of the room, you are going to stay still. This half of the room, you're going to be teacher hats. You're going to be scoring the presentations on this side of the room. So you all will need one person that will record for the group on scoring. Inside, you'll score the inside team right here. Outside, you'll go to the outside team. Inside.
And you can bring your rubric with you.
Outside group, you guys. Inside group, you'll score this one. Outside group, inside group, outside group. Does that make sense? All right, now here's the thing. I don't want you to talk about the scoring until we've scored both sides. So you guys will score them, bring the rubric back, but you won't share that. You'll do your presentation, they'll score you. After they score you, then you guys are gonna talk about the scores that you gave each other, just to help us expedite and make sure we don't run out of time.
And teachers, as you're grading other group work, please feel free to ask them questions as pertains to what you've seen on the rubric, and try to get to the root of the student work.
Presentations need to be concise, and that way we also have time to move forward. All right, so go ahead, this half of the room, bring your rubric, come over here, and score the models on this half of the room. Far side. No, yours stays. They'll come to you next. We're going to give them the... Go back to your model and get set up. So, no, you can leave it. As you wrap up scoring, you can go back and get set up for your presentation. Don't move yet. I'm just trying to get them back over there.
Yeah, our next presenting group, you do.
So once you're done scoring, go back and get set up. Yeah. So once you're done scoring, go back and get set up for presenting. All right.
If you have not presented yet, I'm going to ask you to return to your model to prepare for your presentation.
This side, don't move yet. I need the far side to go back to their model. Far side, get set up. This side, wait. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, hold on, don't move yet. We're gonna get them set up.
I'm getting some wonderfully confused looks, which is
part
excellent.
Of the process. Part of the process. Okay, everybody on this side of the room, you need one person in your group with a rubric, writing utensil, score. After you score theirs, then you guys can talk about the scores you gave each other, okay? So go ahead, Go find the same people that just visited you, score them, and then start talking about each other's scores.
Yeah, dish it back out.
All right, I need you guys to go score them. I need you, grab a rubric and go score them. Yep, thanks. You can stay and debrief with them. Score and then go. Okay. As you finish up scoring, make sure you stay and debrief and do some comparison of your score versus their score. So go ahead, after you score theirs, do a little bit of debrief on your experiences.
Yeah, I think they've just created some more space over here to talk. Yep. You can talk through your score. What'd you give each other?
Yeah. They're going to score you and come back.
Okay. So I don't want to stop all of our conversation, and we're going to leave room for a lot of time to discuss with our colleagues today. But we're starting to get a lot of questions of, hey, did you give us different rubrics? Yes, we did. So sorry to pull the wool over your eyes, but that's going to be the impetus for the conversation for the rest of our session. And we really want to get back to that idea from the very beginning of how does a rubric impact the quality of student work? And there's a lot of student work in the room, and some of that work looks very differently. I'm not saying any of that work is bad, but it is different. So I would like us to, this is a good time to join back with some of your friends from earlier. You can stay with your group. You can talk to people you came in with. But take some time, explore some of the other models that are in the room. And we have 2 questions. You can, on our Mentimeter here, if you scan the QR code or enter the code, you'll be able to join in and answer the questions as a group. So this was our rubric. This is one of the things I'm hearing.
There's not a way. It's fine.
We have extra copies. Should we tell people?
Yeah, I'm going to get them back into their seat, and I'm going to refocus them and then talk a little bit about the 2 rubrics.
That was a great comparison.
That was the...
But we've all been there, right?
Oh yeah,
We've all been
that
there.
wasn't part of our rubric.
Yeah.
right, if I can get you to go back to your building group and just have a seat for a second, I'm going to talk a little bit about the two rubrics. Let me just say, I have used both rubrics with students, and it's one of those I didn't know better, and so I was using rubrics that just came with things. I was like, oh, it came with a rubric. I'm going to use that rubric, and then I started grading student work, and I was like, oh, I've got to give this kid a really high score, but it's not really meeting the learning target that I had for this lesson. But I'm using this rubric, and so now I have to give this score that really doesn't match up with the intended outcome, and now I'm trapped, and they can argue their way out of this into a better score. So that really had us thinking about, especially when we use project and problem-based learning, that rubric is going to make or break all that time you invest into those units to making sure, are you measuring the right outcomes? And is it about the learning or is it about the product at the end? The product does matter, but is it aligned to the learning piece? So some of you...
easily impressed by some beautiful art, beautiful Lego models, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're hitting the rigor of the standard and what, I as a history teacher, science teacher, math teacher need the students to come out of class learning.
Right, so some of you had this rubric on, I believe is this side of the room. And so on all of this, there was one thing about content. The rest of the categories did not necessarily align with a learning outcome, and the content does not even really notify you what standard. So there's a lot to improve on this side. But this is usually what you see when things are mass produced. So when you buy things from people who make things for across the United States, they do very generic things because they want to be able to sell it and not be state specific. But we are state specific and we need to have, so this can be a starting point, but you really got to look and see if it matches up. Now the other side of the room, you had defining the problem. You had minimum requirements. You had a learning target. You had very specific. There had to be a Tennessean, a state symbol, geographical landmark. You had a lot of specifics on there that aligned with a standard. And so that made sure that the outcome in the presentation aligned with a specific standard that you were working towards, and not just about, was it creative and cute and did it look good, which is great, but we got to have the substance with it as well.
You also had an emphasis of a process skill on this side. We asked for group work from this team. We explained what group work looked like for teams with this rubric.
Yeah, we were measuring it a certain way over here. Over here was like, did you work together? You could say yes. We'd be like, how do we really know? So this just clarifies the expectations. And this piece right here can make a difference whether that PBL is going to be successful and you're going to feel successful at the end, or are you going to be frustrated, your student's going to be frustrated because you have two different expectations, but it's not clear on the rubric. Now we do have both versions if you want the other version as well. We've done this activity and it's been an eye-opening experience as far as really thinking about investing the time to make sure our rubrics are as high quality as our PBL units and our plans are. So thank you.
Both of these rubrics are available at the QR code here. We also have paper copies if you would like to just take one home with you. And being able to break down the difference between those two rubrics can really illuminate the differences in student products.
So we appreciate you being students and doing some purposeful play with Legos today to get to our learning target. And if you wouldn't mind, I know they're masterpieces, but if you wouldn't mind kind of disassembling them and
take
back
that
into
picture.
the tub.
It will last a lifetime.
And if you need anything for us, our emails are on the presentation and you can find us in the app. We're happy to share any of this with you, or if you're got questions later on how to run it, we'll talk you through it.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have an amazing end of the day and safe travels home.